I want to talk about my Blu-ray library. What do I look for when I'm selecting movies? The whole idea behind this is that these are mostly movies that I've already seen and movies I want to see again. I'm not looking to build the biggest collection. I'm looking to build a collection of movies that I actually want to see. And sure, you can say the greatest movies of all time, some of them are missing. I totally get it. But when I look at the collection, I'm thinking, okay, what do I actually want to see? Okay. So I have Blu-rays, I have 4Ks, and I mostly focus on stuff I'm definitely going to want to see. So I want to share what I'm into. Because if there's a cyber attack nationwide and I don't have access to the internet, I want to be able to have access to some movies. And I love streaming, I really do. But the thing is, when you stream, you don't really have a lot of control over the content. You don't have access to the movie, and that can change with streaming overnight. So I think it's important to have some physical media, especially if you have kids and you have to keep them entertained if the internet goes down for a few weeks or whatever. And it's just good to have access to it. So here's my collection. All right, let's talk about my collection. 24. One of the best TV shows I've ever seen. A really unique format. It all happens in real time. These are the last 2 seasons of 24. You can't get the earlier seasons on Blu-ray. I think you can get a different region, but in the US they didn't really offer that. This is Live Another Day, the one that took place in London. Two Guns, I don't remember this movie, I just remember it being good. It has Denzel Washington and Mark Wahlberg. 300, really good visuals. It's been a long time since I watched that. Adrift with Shailene Woodley. I love Shailene Woodley, okay? I'm a big fan of hers, so I definitely want to see that again. American Hustle, I don't even remember seeing that movie, but I have a lot of confidence in watching it again. I think it's going to be a good movie. It was nominated for a lot of awards. American Pie. This reminds me of when I was a teenager growing up. Pretty funny movie. Wonderful cast. So a lot of those people I haven't seen since, but it's a really good movie. American Sniper with Bradley Cooper. Yeah, definitely worth seeing again. I want to see American Hustle again. I want to see American Sniper again. But anyway, on 4K I have Anna. I think it's Anna. Really, it's a pretty decent movie, but I love spy movies with female leads, beautiful female leads. So I had to have that. Arrival, this is one of the best 4Ks you can possibly get. I just think it's a really good transfer. Science fiction, encounter with aliens movie. This stuff right here is just the Avengers. I don't like superhero movies that much, but the Avengers, that's when they actually did it right, okay? That's when they did it right. So I have all of the Avengers right there. The Batman, 4K. I got a good deal on this one. So really, I'm definitely going to watch that again. The Dark Knight series. Yeah. Christopher Nolan's. Yeah, I got it on 4K. I'm looking forward to seeing that on 4K. It looks good on Blu-ray. Beautiful Creatures. Probably a movie most of you guys have never heard of, but I really, really enjoyed that movie. So like a movie, a gothic southern tale. Best of Me. One of the few romantic stories I have in here. Black Mass. Yeah. Johnny Depp is a villain. Yeah. Crime thriller. Black Swan. You guys know I love ballet. I also like Natalie Portman. She did a tremendous job. Blade, the Blade trilogy. Okay, and the most important one, of course, is the first movie, Blade. Blade Runner, 2049. One of the best 4Ks you can possibly get. Book of Eli, great post-apocalyptic story. Denzel Washington, Gary Oldman is a great villain. It's about this guy trying to protect the Bible. Stop Gary Oldman's character for using it as a weapon to control people. All right, more Marvel. I'm not a big fan of Marvel, but this Captain America Civil War was a really good one. This Winter Soldier, really good one. It's been a while since I've had a lot of faith in Marvel movies. Casino, one of the best gangster movies ever. Casino Royale, Ava Green, she's stunning in this movie. So probably the best Bond movie I've seen in a long time. That's in 4K, also in Blu-ray. Con Air with Nicolas Cage. Yeah, John Malkovich. Definitely worth checking out if you like action, 1990s style action. The gritty stuff. Okay, but also kind of cool. All right, the day after, I'm not a, well, it's climate change going really, really bad. Really cool. It has Emmy Rossum in it. I like her. She's from Shameless. The Departed, one of my favorite crime movies. Jack Nicholson, Matt Damon, Leonardo DiCaprio, Mark Wahlberg. That is a tremendous cast. Really good movie. The Descendants with Shailene Woodley, of course, George Clooney. Really good drama about a man who loses his wife. The family has to deal with that loss. The Descent, a really good, I want to say horror movie, but it's kind of like an adventure turn horror. About these women who go into a cave and, well, they discover something terrifying. The Devil's Rejects. Okay. One of the, an action movie with a really good soundtrack. I'll put it that way. Really good soundtrack. Really gory. The first movie I saw in theaters, it was House of a Thousand Corpses. That was pretty funny for a horror movie. This is a sequel to that movie, Three from Hell. I just put them together because it's just easier to keep up with. I might forget the title of the sequel. Die Hard on 4K. Yeah. I like the other Die Hards as well. At least 2 wasn't that realistic, but 3 with Samuel L. Jackson, yeah. I'd love to see that as well. Again, Divergent. This is a movie that wasn't really all that great, but I loved it. Shailene Woodley. Yeah, but Divergent is a post-apocalyptic story, like a young adult science fiction type of movie. The sequels that follow it weren't that good, but anyway, I like her. Doomsday. I remember really enjoying this movie. Another post-apocalyptic movie. Mankind has an expiration date. I want to see that again. The Equalizer with Denzel Washington. Okay, enough said. Equalizer 2 with Denzel Washington. I'm missing the Equalizer 3 with Dakota Fanning. That was pretty cool. Event Horizon. Maybe that might be better on 4K, but Blu-ray is good enough, man. Blu-ray looks great on most of the TVs anyway. Ex Machina. I know a lot of people would probably rather have the 4K, but you know, I like the movie, but I didn't like it enough to say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get a 4K when I already have a Blu-ray. Face Off, again, 1990s action, Nicolas Cage, John Travolta. Fast 5, that was an impulse buy. I wouldn't mind seeing it again. Okay, Shailene Woodley, again, The Fault in Our Stars. I don't like a lot of movies where, you know, somebody gets sick and there's a love story and somebody gets sick. It's kind of annoying, but I like her. Okay, I can't justify this other than say, I like Dakota Johnson, okay? I'm going to leave it at that. I like Dakota Johnson. That's my, hey. Anyway, Firefly. If you haven't seen this show, it's only one series made by, it's only one season. It's made by Joss Whedon. He made Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This is a science fiction show about these people traveling throughout the galaxy or whatever. And they're basically rebels after a major war. Anyway, definitely worth checking out. Firefly. Friday. One of the few black movies I have in here. Although there's some I would love, it's just they're harder to find. Friday, this is one. It's a really funny movie. Chris Tucker, you know, Ice Cube, Fury. That was a good movie. Tank movie. Brad Pitt, Garden State. It's been a while. Again, I like Natalie Portman. Gladiator. Well, yeah. I mean, come on, it's Gladiator on Blu-ray. Had a pretty good deal. I wouldn't mind getting it on 4K, but again, it looks good on Blu-ray. Godfather, I have it on Blu-ray. I'm happy with that. All 3 movies. I love part 1 and part 2. I still want to see part 3 again. It's been a while. Godzilla, I mean, I've had this for a while. I've never really been a big fan of Godzilla. Goodfellas, okay. Come on. Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Ray Liotta. Come on, it's a classic. If you like gangster movies, you got to have it. Gone, Baby Gone. Yeah. Really good. This is Ben Affleck's brother, Casey Affleck. Really good drama. This is one of my all-time favorites. Gone with the Wind. One of my all-time favorites. Yeah, definitely. Scarlett O'Hara. Beautiful. Dangerous. Crazy. Wonderful story. Gravity with Sandra Bullock and George Clooney. Probably one of the more realistic outer space movies. Harry Potter, the only one I really want to see again, part one, because it sort of focuses a lot on the relationship between Harry Potter and I forget her name, but I really enjoyed it. I like looking at that dynamic. The Hateful Eight, one of the few sort of like westerns I have. Heat, one of my all-time favorite movies. Okay, Al Pacino, Val Kilmer, Robert De Niro. You guys remember the bank robbery scene? There's so many iconic scenes in that movie. Incredible. The Hunger Games, okay, in 4K. Yeah, I like Jennifer Lawrence. Love Jennifer Lawrence in this. She did a phenomenal job. I Am Legend, okay, with Will Smith. A post-apocalyptic story. They find a cure for cancer, but it leads to a disastrous apocalyptic event where people turn into like zombies or vampires. Anyway, Inception. I got that on Blu-ray and also on 4K. It might actually be better. Some movies are actually better on Blu-ray than 4K. Anyway, Inglourious Basterds, another Quentin Tarantino movie. This has one of the best villains I've seen in a movie. This right here, Interstellar. If you're into Blu-ray, Interstellar, Matthew McConaughey, Anne Hathaway. Yeah, this is one hell of a cast. Beautiful movie. Christopher Nolan movies, I love. Okay, The Dark Knight series. Yeah, you're gonna see more Christopher Nolan in this collection. All right, Interview with the Vampire. Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, a young Kirsten Dunst. I think it was a young Kirsten Dunst. Yeah. Based off of the Anne Rice novel. It Ends With Us. Okay. I actually like Blake Lively. I've enjoyed her work ever since Gossip Girl, despite what's going on behind the scenes with her. But anyway, Jigsaw is one of the few Saw movies I thought was actually substantial and actually really good. It's a step above all the other ones. John Wick on 4K. Yeah. Action packed. John Wick 2, John Wick 3 on 4K, John Wick 4 on 4K. Yeah. Kill Bill, volumes 1 and 2. Killing Them Softly. Brad Pitt. Crime movie. La La Land. This is one of the few Blu-rays I have that I haven't actually seen. I don't like musicals, but I like Emma Stone. So, and she was nominated. Well, I don't know if she was nominated. I think she was, but anyway, she may have won. I don't know. Leon the Professional. This is one of my favorite 1990s style action movie. He plays an assassin, and her whole family's wiped out killed by dirty cops, and she turns to him for help. Awesome movie. And Gary Oldman, again, as a villain. Okay, great job as a villain in this movie. And great job as a villain in Book of Eli. Okay, London Has Fallen. I've seen this before, but I haven't opened up this Blu-ray yet. Love Actually. Okay. Is this really a romantic comedy? It's kind of sad. It's a lot of different storylines. Some of it's sort of romantic. Some of it's sort of pathetic, but I love it. Mad Max. Fury Road. Yeah, this is visually very appealing. All right, Man of Steel. This is one of the few superhero movies that I actually like. I enjoyed this one more than the new Superman that came out. I thought this was more realistic. This wasn't as faithful to the comic as the James Gunn version, but when I watch this movie, I think, okay, if Superman actually existed, this is what I would expect, realistically. All right, Master and Commander. Okay. Russell Crowe. I mean, yeah, that's enough to get me to want to see it again. Miami Vice, this is so underrated. Okay, this is a Michael Mann movie, which, Michael Mann also directed Heat, and Jamie Foxx, Colin Farrell. This was a cool movie. A lot of people enjoyed the movie, but they said it wasn't really like Miami Vice. I just thought it was a really sleek take, a more modern take on Miami Vice, but they had this female lead who was Asian but didn't really speak English that well. You could barely understand her, so that was a little bizarre, but she looked good. The Matrix on 4K, yeah, I just saw that again. It's a great transfer. Mission Impossible series on Blu-ray. Mission Impossible 2. Mission Impossible 3. It's one of my favorite ones right here. Mission Impossible 3 has Kerry Russell in it. Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation. They're all pretty good. Fallout, probably the best one in the series. But I don't have the newer ones. Okay. Moneyball. That was an impulse buy. But I hear it's a really good movie. Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Angelina Jolie. Yeah. Love Angelina Jolie. I'm looking for the next generation's Angelina Jolie. Audrey Hepburn. I decided to get a 4K version of My Fair Lady. I wish they had Breakfast at Tiffany's on 4K. But yeah, she's one of my all-time favorites. Okay. Oblivion. A movie that people probably forgot about. Tom Cruise, Morgan Freeman. A sci-fi epic. I don't want to ruin it, but as Ogla, I forgot her last name. She's beautiful. Love this movie. This guy is sort of like a garden. Well, I don't want to ruin it. But anyway, something big is happening in that world. Okay, Oppenheimer, another Christopher Nolan movie, 4K. You know about that. Other Berlin Girl. That's really something a lot of people probably forgot about. It has Natalie Portman in it. Natalie Portman, Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, I actually love that movie. It's tragic, it's sad. It's not necessarily historically accurate, like the Berlin Girls, but hey, I like the movie. Okay, Passengers. This is a science fiction movie about this guy who wakes up early on a spaceship. He's supposed to be in cryo sleep for a certain period of time, like 100 years or so, and he's supposed to wake up when the spaceship gets closer to their destination, their planet, but he wakes up early and he decides to wake up. He gets lonely. He decides to wake up this beautiful woman played by Jennifer Lawrence. I like the movie. It's a love story, but it's kind of messed up what he did. The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Perks of Being a Wallflower. Yeah. Emma Watson. It's one of those movies she did that wasn't Harry Potter. That's actually pretty good. Predator with Schwarzenegger. Then you have another James Bond movie. Quick and the Dead, one of the very few Westerns I have on here. Sharon Stone's in it. Russell Crowe. Rambo. One of the newer ones. Revolutionary Road. Really depressing story with Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet about trials and tribulations of a marriage. I'll put it that way. The Rock. 1990s style action. Okay. Love it. Sean Connery, Ed Harris, Nicolas Cage. Some people sort of had this theory that Sean Connery was, he played like a modern James Bond character. That character was actually James Bond. He was in prison. But anyway, check it out. Okay. Roman Holiday on 4K. I'm looking forward to seeing that this weekend. Of course, I've watched that movie. It's one of my favorite movies. Salt with Angelina Jolie. Great action movie. She plays a spy who's been accused of being a traitor. All right. Serenity. If you like Firefly, this is the movie that follow Firefly. So they actually made a movie after the TV show. So keep screwing up. Assassin. Yeah. Sicario. Yeah, Emily Blunt, Del Toro, awesome. Josh Brolin, awesome. One of the best 4Ks I can possibly imagine. Although I haven't really seen it yet on 4K. I've watched it many times. I want to see it again. Silver Lining Playbook. This movie had me laughing out loud. Okay, Skyfall, another Bond movie. Sin City. I remember Jessica Alba, Bruce Willis playing the protagonist. Spectre. I actually enjoyed a lot of these James Bond movies that Craig Daniel did. A Star is Born. I've never seen this. Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. I want to see it. Sunshine. If you like science fiction, Sunshine. Actually directed by Danny Boyle. The guy who gave us 28 Days Later. This is a really good space movie. Tenet. It came out in 2020 during the pandemic. A lot of people didn't get a chance to see it because a lot of the theaters were shut down. But this is a cool movie with a different spin on time travel. Christopher Nolan movie, definitely worth checking out. Terminator on Blu-ray. I'm not getting the 4K. I'm not spending that type of money. Like some of these 4Ks, they're asking crazy amount of money for these 4Ks. I'm not doing that. Terminator 2, actually the Blu-ray is probably better than the 4K in this situation. And this is something a lot of people talk about. This is one of my all-time favorite movies, Terminator 2, Judgment Day. I think it's the best science fiction movie I've seen. All right, Terminator 3, not as good, but still good enough. I bet a lot of people don't even remember that Sarah Connor series with Leah, and also Summer Gold. That show was awesome. It only lasted for one season. Training Day. What more do I have to say? Denzel Washington, Ethan Hawke. Training Day. Denzel won an Oscar for that performance. Tron Legacy. This is a Tron movie I actually want to see. Not Ares, but Blu-ray is good enough. I'm not spending crazy money for a 4K for Tron. No, not. It's a good movie, but not that good. Unforgiven, one of the few westerns. I'm gonna get some more westerns. Clint Eastwood, Gene Hackman, Morgan Freeman, Up in the Air, George Clooney. The Usual Suspects. You guys know about that. Here's another Angelina Jolie movie, Wanted. She's beautiful. She's awesome. She's an action star. The Watchmen, a superhero movie that's about people who are less than, well, it's a realistic take on it if you want to, if you're going to add science fiction to it. But anyway, it's pretty dark. I'll just put it that way. Wonder Woman, the first one. The second one sucked. But this one, really good. World War Z. Brad Pitt. Zero Dark 30. I don't look at it as being like, oh, this is based on a true story. It says the greatest manhunt in history. I just look at it as just being a thriller, so I can enjoy it that way. Zodiac. This is a creepy serial killer movie. It's about the hunt for a serial killer. Journalists looking for a serial killer. This is a creepy movie. Okay, I don't have a lot of horror. Breakfast at Tiffany's is in this Audrey Hepburn set right here. The Blu-ray set. Bourne movies. Downton Abbey, 4 seasons, The Matrix collection, Rambo movies, X-Men trilogy, and right here you have ballet. A lot of ballet. Swan Lake, all that. And you just have DVDs. So that's my collection. This is what I'm into. Share your thoughts.